Hello dear kids, we are reading chapter number 2 Lost Spring and story number 2 of this chapter, where we are studying the story of a boy whose name is Mukesh, and he belongs to a family who is busy in making bangles for many years. So this is going to be the second explanation video of the story number 2, right? And in our previous video, part number 3 of Lost Spring explanation, we have read that how the writer Anis Jung describes the environment where these bangle makers of Firozabad they work. The houses and the huts are very small, right? Dingy cells he has called them, cramped holes. And the children they would sit next to a line of the oil lamps, right, whose flames are unsteady, and they along with the parents join the pieces of colored glasses into circles, right, and those circles are bangles. And in the last paragraph she describes that because they spent a lot of time in dark dingy cells, so their eyes would not adapt to bring sunlight. Many of the kids, they lost their eyesight before getting adults. Now today we have to start reading from page number 18. This is page number 18, you can see on your screen, and this is second paragraph of page number 18, where the writer is describing or talking about a young lady, a young girl, you can see, whose name is Savita. So let's read what is that. Savita, a young girl in a dark pink dress, sits alongside an elderly woman, shouldering pieces of glass as her hands move mechanically like the tongues of a machine. I wonder if she knows the sanctity of bangles she helps make. It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag, auspiciousness in marriage. So let's read up to here. Okay, auspiciousness in marriage. So let's read up to here till this. So here you can get some of the words which are new for you. First one is drab. Drab is what? Colorless or faded. What is it? Colorless or faded. Next word is soldering. So this soldering is what? Joining. She is also getting busy in that. And tongues of machines. So this tongues of machine, tongues means here an instrument which is the movable arms like robot type, or you can see in the factories where these machines are used to do some work, right? So those objects, those instruments which are movable, which are having movable arms, that is called tongues. Next is sanctity. Sanctity is what? It is the state sacred or holy, right, which is very auspicious, you can say. And auspiciousness is what? Which is good omen. Omen, O-M-E-N, right? So here in this paragraph, the authoress or the writer Anis Jung is describing that there was a young girl, and the name of that girl was what? Savita. She was drab in the pink dress, means she wore a faded pink color dress. Drab means faded color. So pink colored dress or sari it was actually. She was sitting with an elderly woman, and what they were doing? They were joining the pieces of the glass to make bangles, means the belting work was going on. And her hands, we are talking about Savita's hands. So Savita's hands move like a machine. She was working too fast, just like the tongues of a machine. And the writer wondered if Savita knew the bangles were sacred, right? They are holy. And if she knew that these are the good omen for women's wifehood when she get married, so how auspicious and how important these bangles are for her. So she actually wondered to this, if she knew all about this. Now in next lines, it will dawn on her suddenly one day. It will dawn on her suddenly one day. When her head is draped with red veil, her hands dyed red with henna, and red bangles rolled onto her wrist. She will then become a bride, like the old woman beside her who became one many years ago. She still has bangles on her wrist, but no light in her eyes. एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया, she says in a voice drained of joy. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. That's what she has reaped. So we have to do up to here, okay? And here in this paragraph, dawned means what? Dawn is what? Dawn on her means when she realizes. She will realize. Dawn means what? Actually the starting of that, but here it means when she will realize the importance of the bangles, right? And one more word is the draped. Draped means what? Covered. Clear? So she thought that Savita would realize, we are talking about Anis Jung, that she is wondered that if she knew, she is too busy in making bangles, but if she knew the importance of those bangles, so she thought that Savita would realize then this importance or auspiciousness of the bangles when she would become a bride, right? So that day she would cover her head with a red colored veil. Veil is what? It's especially in India, ladies used to do that. That's called ghungat actually in Hindi. And veil, color her hands and henna, and wear red colored bangle on her wrist, right, which are actually the symbol of so-called married life or wifehood, you can say. So the elderly woman who was sitting, right, so like the old woman, she was sitting to her, she was sitting next to her. Savita also became a bride many years ago. Okay, so we are talking about that woman, right, who is already married. So we are talking about that lady, and Savita is sitting next to her. So she was still wearing the glass bangles. This old lady is still wearing the glass bangles, but she had lost her eyesight now. Why? Because of these bangle making process. Now we have to study this. एक वक्त शेर भर खाना भी नहीं खाया. So this is what? This is शेर is what? शेर is a unit of measuring quantity, right? So this word शेर is what? It's a measuring quantity. And one more word you have to do, that's reaped. She has reaped. Reaped means got or received something, right? So here this old elderly woman, she is complaining that she had not eaten even a proper quantity of food, a share of food, right, which is needed, which is required for her. So the woman wants to say that they are so poor and they cannot eat enough food. Actually, whatever the requirement, they do not get that food also, they get not enough food also. So that is the benefit that she has received by adopting the profession of bangles making, right? And her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, says, I know nothing except bangles. All I have done is make a house for the family to live in. Now what is here, that the woman's, right, husband, he has a flowing beard, means he has a long beard, and he says that this man is saying that he does not know anything other bangle making, right, and all that he has been able to accomplish is to make a house for the family to live in. And you can imagine the situation of the house, what kind of house that was, right? So we have read about that. Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many have failed in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head, right? So here the writer wonders that probably the old man has achieved something which many other people of that community, they have not achieved. It may happen some of the people who are engaged in this bangle making, they are not having this hut also, right? So that's why the writer wonders here that probably this old man has achieved something which many other people have not been able to achieve. So he's saying at least I have been able to secure a shelter for me. So that is what he wants to say, and his family, right? Now, next paragraph. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even enough to eat, rings in every home. The young men echo the lament of their elders. Little has moved with time, it seems, in Firozabad. Years of mind numbing toil have killed all initiative and the ability to dream. So, here the cry not having money to do anything except carry to business of making bangles. So here the young men who had entered the tradition of this profession, you can say, also had the same complaint as that lady was doing, that एक भर पेट एक दिन सिर भर और पेट भर खाना नहीं खाया. That same complaint, that man, all the men of that society, of that community, they also complained about that, right? That they did not have enough food in their life. So with the passing of the time, there was no improvement in their condition also, right? The young men echo the lament of their elders. What is the meaning of their? That they are inheriting their the business of their forefathers, right? Lament is what? It's a what is that? The cry of sadness, you can say. So that is what? Lament of their elders. Little has moved with the time, it seems, in Firozabad. Year of mind's numbing toil. This mind numbing toil means that is what? Boring, right? And lament, I have told you, that means to cry over, to complain over something, right? So what the men are saying, they are also saying that with the passing of the time, there was no improvement in their condition, and as they had been doing lot of work, they have to do lot of hard work for countless number of years, so they did not have any ability to do something else to drink for it, because they only know this bangle making, and after that they do not know how to involve themselves in some other business. So that is the biggest problem actually. They do not have any other skill, right? So how they can dream of it? Clear? So that is very big problem for them. Why not organize yourself into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of wicked men. Even if get organized, we are ones who will be hauled up by the police, beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal, right? So let's see, what is that? They say there is no leader among them, no one who could help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy to greed and to injustice. So here in this paragraph is quite important, and from here we will get the questions also, right? So that is what here when she came to know the poor condition, actually she knew it, but when she talked to that particular group of that particular society or that particular community, so that type, right, the people who are engaged in that bangle making, so when she talked about those people, she was too disturbed, and then she suggested them to form a cooperative, right? So when they can just group together and they can start something. So the type of work she suggested to do them, and she talked to a group of young men also to get out of the clutches of this cruel middlemen who had trapped their elders. Clear? So middlemen are the people who are just engaging them for this work, right? Even if get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police. So when she just suggests them to do this work of or to start some cooperative work. So the people or the men she was asking to, she was suggesting to do this work. So they said, right, they said that if they dared to do something like that, they would be dragged and beaten up by the police and they will be sent to jail. So that was the situation actually. The responsible people who are employing them for very less money actually, and in order, they have to do a lot of work hard for that. So they are actually the root cause for this, you can say. So the men said if they dare to do something cooperative or other work than this bangle making, so they would be dragged and beaten up to the jail, right? And the police also do this all. So there is no leader among them, and no one could help them to see things differently. And they said that we cannot just dare to do something like that, right? So their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in spirals that moves from poverty to apathy to greed and injustice. So here their act would be if they want to just engage themselves in any cooperative work, so whatever they will do, so that will be termed to be unlawful or illegal work for them, right? Because they are actually very poor, they are illiterate, so they have to just follow the middlemen and the police and all that. So the writer felt that as they had no leader, right, they could not think of doing the things differently, right? That is written here, that they talk endlessly in the spiral that moves poverty. So they all were so tired, right? The men and their fathers. So they are too actually, you can say they are being oppressed, that they have to be busy, they have to be engaged in this work, because the middlemen and the big businessmen, they have to give very less money, right, to them. Now, listening to them, I see two distinct worlds, one of the family, caught in the web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born. The other, a vicious circle of sahukars, the middlemen and the policemen, right? So here in the last line of this paragraph, they talk endlessly in the spiral that moves poverty, apathy and greed. So let's understand this meaning, the meaning of this line here. And the spiral here means what? The spiral is what? Spiral is actually this type of, the things which are kept in round. But here it is actually that is the never ending or the continuous process that they have to feel such, they have to live such life, right? So here apathy also is what? Apathy is what? Apathy is lack of concern, right? And greed is what? Greed, the selfish desires. Clear? So here in this line, she is saying that the men complained that it was a continuous process, right? Their poor condition led to lack of concern for their problems, and this made them greedy and led to injustice, right? So listening to them, see two distinct words. So here what the writer is saying, that when they are actually envisioned that there were two separate words. One was such families who were struck in the poverty and the pressure of doing this traditional profession according to their caste in which they were born, and the other word is of never ending cycle of money lenders, middlemen, policemen, law keepers, government officials and the politicians. So she is showing us two words, that she realized that there are two separate words for such families and the middlemen also. Now the policemen, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats and the politicians, together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father, right? So here she is saying that both of these groups, she realized the different words, no? So both of these words had been forced to the young boys or the young children to follow the family profession, right? And the boys who get involved in this profession, they become a part of the this vicious cycle even before they realize it, right? And what else she is saying here, when before it occurs naturally to his father, to do anything else would mean to dare, and daring is not part of his, is not his growing up. When I sense a flash of Mukesh, I cheered. I want to be a motor mechanic, he repeats. So here she is saying that when they realize these young boys, they got involved in this profession somehow because they were kids that time, but the time they realized that it was too late and they cannot get out of this cycle of this bangle making and all that, right? And she's adding that if they did anything else, it means that they were challenging these two words. Means if they are doing any other word this of this bangle making, so they will be jailed, right? They will be tortured. Now here she is saying that so what the boys or what the children do, they had not been reared up to so bold actually that they could dare to go against the system because they are afraid of that, right? So the writer was very happy to sense that Mukesh had, you can say, the spark in him. He wants to do something different. He wants to be a motor mechanic, right? So he repeated repeated that he would be a motor mechanic, right? And she was, the authoress, the writer was very happy, and Ernest Young was very happy to listen that, to hear this. So she asked that, as garage was at the distance from his home, so let's see, but the garage is a long way from his home, I will walk, he insists. Do you also dream of flying a plane? He is suddenly silent. No, he says, staring at the ground in the small murmur. There is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret. He is content to dream of cars that he sees hurtling down the streets of his town. Few airplanes fly over Firozabad, right? So here the writer asked to this boy Mukesh that this garage is at the distance from your home. Then how you will go there, and how you will learn that this how you will be the motor mechanic and all that. So Mukesh insisted that, right, or he replied that he would walk up to that garage, okay. And when she asked him if he dream of flying planes also, so the boy became silent and refused actually because he did not know about them. And why? What is the reason? Because he did not know about planes, and the reason for that is because not many planes flew over Firozabad, right? As he see the moving cars around in Firozabad, so his dreams were restricted up to them because he does not see the planes actually, so that's why he is not dreaming of them, but he is actually restricted, his dreams were restricted up to the cars. So that's why he denies when Ernest Young asked that if you want to fly the planes also, so he said no, I will be the motor mechanic only. So dear kids, this was the chapter Lost Spring, where we have read about two boys, and we also learned that this lost spring story conveys how millions of children like Sahib and Mukesh, right, they lose out on living the spring on their lives, that is their childhood, and the best phase of their life is lost in the hardship involved to earn the livelihood, right? So this lost spring gives us an analysis of the poor condition faced by many children that condemned them to a life of pain, oppression and lack of education. Thank you very much for today, and please read the story, the entire story, both the parts carefully, because both the parts of the story Lost Spring are very important. Thank you very much. Stay safe, stay happy.